Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's episode on the Q Show. And the essence of this podcast is to talk about interesting topics, discuss, get different viewpoints so that we can also learn some things from the discussion. And today we are going to be discussing a very, very interesting topic, one in which I know everybody has at one point or the other thought about it, looked into it, and I believe at least everybody that watch movies should be able to relate to this and would have probably sat down and think that is this really possible? And that's what we'll be talking about today. So I have here with me Bukunda and Mubin Shaidu, and I remain myself, I am Feoluwa Oluyomi. So the topic today that we'll be discussing is AI threats and what can we learn from sci-fi movies. AI threats and what we can learn from sci-fi movies. And we're going to be looking at some of the movies. So let's start the discussion.
Before we started, I was asking IFA about any recent sci-fi movie he has seen, and the Terminator and Matrix came up, which is kind of like the go-to if you want to talk about uh threat of AI and all of that.
Mhm.
And we're actually seeing even more realistic threats happening. Like Amazon just laid off 14,000 people this week. So yeah, that's what we're going to discuss about today.
Wait, this week?
Yeah,
Yeah.
14,000 workers. Let's look at the news. Amazon
Yeah,
laid
I
off.
think I think I was reading something like that too. And it's like it's going to continue.
Yeah. So yeah, we're going to break it down. Like we're going to try to analyze whether or not this is related to AI, like directly or indirectly. Like we've spoken in past episodes, like it's indirectly AI in the sense that um companies need to spend the money to pay for GPUs, to invest in AI, buy stuff. So yeah, people are going to get laid off.
Yeah, I don't know
Wow.
if you heard of this new company that competes with thermodynamics.
What's
It
that?
was trending recently. Like they are trying to limit the way people use, resources in trying to train AI models and things like that. So they're thinking of a new way of, computation. I didn't really read much about it, but it was very interesting actually. It was basically using thermodynamics. Basically, that was the whole idea.
Yeah, you can look it up. Let's see. Well, yeah, the cost of running a model has been going down, so I think it's going to get cheaper. Like we also with improvements in technology, we're going to see it getting cheaper, and maybe then the layup will slow down. But did you see Neo, like the the robot, the humanoid robot that you
Yeah,
can pay 20K for? You do the monthly subscription for it. So
yeah.
I guess
So
once they can figure out humanoid robots, I think yeah, then you should be very, very scared. We are moving over to Terminator.
level. Yeah, the name of the company is Extropic. So they're like a thermodynamic computing company, Extropic.
That's true.
It's quite interesting actually. I don't know how legit the you know the technology would be or how efficient it would be, but I think it's a good one.
Yeah, it looks very interesting from their outlook. So are they saying they want to rival GPU?
I think so. I think that's the whole idea, to rival the GPU. But yeah, I'm still a bit skeptical about it, but let's see.
I mean, that's how NVIDIA started out at some points many years
Yeah,
ago.
exactly.
I'm just shocked of the what Ibukun said about lead.
Laying off, right?
Yeah, 14,000.
Still, because I'm like, they laid off a lot of people last year, and now they're laying off a lot of people again this year. And did they give any like statistics on maybe software engineer or product manager or because I think I remember one of the I mean this was like COVID-19 period. One of the YouTube stuff I was watching, and the lady was basically telling the YouTubers of a day in the life of a Google person, and she was like, "Oh, I just got to work, and I'm like, "So what exactly do you do?"
You
You
do.
do. Yeah, yeah. It also happened with TikTok. I saw someone working at TikTok. Like you go out, maybe you wake up at night, you scroll, you grab a cup of coffee, then you walk into the office, you attend some meetings, do your stand up, maybe you write deep lines of code, 2 p.m., you're out, you go to the gym. Yeah. So when you start posting stuff like this, management is going to see that, oh, probably we've overemployed people. But this
Yeah.
Amazon on is particularly people in the middle level because, I mean, they're trying to kick out bureaucracy. So they're getting rid of most of like the middle level management. They have less levels in the organization.
Yeah.
Because I think for companies to win like in this AI world, it's going to be about speed and how quickly you can execute. And some of these levels, particularly in very big organizations, like there are too many levels. You have an engineering manager. The engineering manager has a senior engineering manager. Your senior engineering manager has a director. It has a VP. Then you go to the CTO. Then the CTO too has a CPO, and then before you reach
Yeah.
the CEO. So they have so
So,
many managers. So they're trying to get rid of that depth so you can have more speed
yeah.
and over hiring because of COVID-19.
Yeah. And I even think most of the new hires are not really like, I mean, the layoffs are not really technical people. Because even when the same thing happened at Twitter, X, formerly Twitter, it was almost the same thing. A lot of people were just according to reports, just okay, what's actually your? I remember a tweet by Elon actually, where he literally, how do you say, reposted a tweet from someone, and he said, what were you doing? Like, what do you actually do at work?" So yeah, but I think as we go on, we're still going to see more of this layoffs, even affecting technical people that actually do some work. But I was reading recently, and I was actually checking the top 20 job roles that will be affected by AI. And funny enough, software development, a developer, engineer wasn't really part of the list because, we are in this space. So we know what's happening. I think that's why most of us get scared because we know what's happening. But you find out people that are not even, technical and they don't even know what's going on and they're not scared. They are just living their life. And you're like, bro, what are you doing with your life? You need to learn something. You need to, because it's not going to be fun, you know.
Yeah, think about even getting scared, and like I think in one of the previous episodes in which we've discussed, and I remember Ibuku saying that AI has helped him to improve to I mean, I guess helped him to go to an 100x engineer. So uh, it's more of number one is hardworking and efficient before even the AI comes in. So if you're not efficient, if you're not hardworking before the AI, then what's probably is that AI will actually even help you. You just start going around in circles and trying to figure things out. I mean, I believe everything he was going to use AI for is something he could have done by himself without the need of AI. I mean, it would have probably taken a longer time if he was going to code it from scratch by himself. But with AI, it just helped him to go faster. But for someone not technical and claims to use AI, the person will run into a bug and be like, AI, solve this bug for me. And AI will be
You
like,
wouldn't even know. You wouldn't even know it's a bug to start with.
yeah. So, yeah. So my point is more of like, yeah, I think it's because we are familiar with the whole system and we can use AI to um do things faster. Do things faster because we already know what they are. So that's why we're scared. Is different from someone that actually even don't they don't even know where to start from. I mean, an example would be like you give an assignment to some student and they'll be like, we don't even know where to start from. So how can AI help you with that? So yeah, you're right. It's more of technical people that know the inner workings of AI and how AI will actually help them to improve that gets more scared. But people that really are out there, they don't know how to really make use of it, then it becomes, what exactly am I doing here? So yeah, you're right on that point.
Yeah, I mean, if you're not even technical, you're not going to be able to vibe code. So, which is why sometimes when we go online, vibe code, someone who doesn't know how to code is vibe code is a lie.
It's a
You
big lie.
probably you're probably trying to market your product, or because which actually reminds me of I had a call with one of our students yesterday. She was struggling to complete the assignment that you gave her, and I had a call with her. So I started a conversation because I was actually quite fascinated with the way she broke down the problem on the WhatsApp group. She was able to explain herself, oh, this is what I'm going through, this, I can't do this. So that's why I even said, okay, yeah, I actually want to meet this person and help this person. And I found out that she's actually a teacher. She's a mathematics teacher. So I was like, oh, you guys invented programming. So to
Yeah.
speak, you invented this whole computer science field. And yeah, so we got on the call. I put her through, okay, this is what Git is. This is GitHub. This is how you clone, do this. And she was able to clone even while on the, I was even asking her, why don't you just use Gemini? She just ask, well, how do I go about this thing? You were able to break down the problem. Why not
Yeah.
put it inside? She didn't think of doing that.
Yeah.
I see.
And even when she tried, you can see the new message she sent on WhatsApp that even with the AI, she's not able to figure it out. So what do you mean that AI will replace software engineers? That's not gonna happen. Yeah. So
Mm,
even with the whole, so I had to like put her through. This is how you clone. This is how you use Git and that. So
Yeah.
my point is, like we've made in previous episodes, is you still need that basic, whether or not
Understanding.
even AI is able to replace software engineers, you still need the basic understanding of even that AI to be able to
Exactly.
interact with it. So what
Exactly.
if your AI robot breaks down? So who is going to fix it? Will the AI will fix itself? What if it's unable to fix it? What if you're in an isolated area? So there is still going to be a need for people who actually understand computers, no matter what. So yeah, it's not that easy.
or what if the AI goes rogue and start thinking by itself?
Precisely, which is actually a point in today's episode. Like, what if your AI goes rogue? How do you turn it off if you don't even know how it works? So you know that AI, number one, you probably need a power source. Okay, how does it take its input? Is it audio, visual? Is it textual? Like, how can you game this robot? Okay, if this robot is trying to shoot you, can you move to a blind spot? Can you try to look for the power source to cut it off? It's probably going to need the internet. Can you maybe cut off the network and stuff like that? So yeah, the knowledge of computing is still very very much valid. So I'm not worried about it replacing people in the field. It's
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
to impact maybe junior, like it's going to definitely, because a lot of people graduates now in the US are complaining about not being able to find jobs. But the truth is, it's the US economy. That's what well, that's the lie they're telling you. It's just the US economy right now is not in a good spot. The companies are not like spending money anyhow. So that's why it's not because as a computer science graduate, you're not needed. Like we've not written enough software. There are still so many people that want to build something. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. It brings me to the point of like You know how when we were little, you had to wash your clothes with your hand and things like that. Then eventually you got a washing machine. But I always tell people, even if you have a washing machine, there are still some people that would rather pay someone to come pick those clothes and put it in the washing machine. They would rather not have anything to do. So even if AI could literally do everything for you, there are some people that would rather pay someone to still use that AI to do exactly what uh, they wanted to do. So there will always be opportunities. I feel the field will evolve and there will be new things for people to do. That's my view on it in the long run.
So there'll be AI, cybersecurity for AI. I think that's becoming a thing, right?
Yeah. OpenAI even released a model yesterday, I think, of a few days ago that could
Yeah,
do some of that.
guardrails.
Yeah. Okay,
So then
let's
ensures that the AI does not go rogue. In terms of because I think one of the things I wanted to, or I'm trying to put my foot into strongly, I mean, I'm just trying to know more, is, so, I mean, I have a strong background in cybersecurity, and then here I've been actually working on AI. Okay, let me not say detecting anomalies in systems using models, machine learning models. So something like that. Now, in that line, I'm detecting anomalies using machine learning models. So how do you detect anomalies in those machine learning models?
machine learning models themselves.
Yes. So it's just a question I've been wondering, that is because now you can now go into different things, that is that the model itself has some issue, or the data has been affected, or they are doing, I mean, there's a lot of attacks, and I think one of the most popular places people have really done a lot of work that relates to that will be federated learning, in which they try to make sure that there is nobody that is doing anything malicious with the model and injecting bad model for aggregation and the likes, right? But then the question is that you deploy an AI model, a machine learning model. What's the guarantee that that model that you're using to detect an attack is not even under an attack, apart from the old data sets, or the model itself being attacked or being replaced? Like, who checks, who becomes accountable or responsible for such that we don't end up having Terminator?
Software engineers.
Yeah.
I actually think we've crossed the singularity already. There's no going back because we've already AI learns from us, right? We are not perfect. We have a lot of crap out there, So we've crossed the singularity, just like in a Kingdom of the Planet of Apes, when the virus they invented for, the apes, and then the apes became very smart. So I think we've already crossed that point. There's no going back. We can only hope and maybe start working on a defense mechanism because we can't stop the progress. It's growing at an exponential rate. So the only thing is to, aggregate and start looking forward to potential risks because the risks are already there. So
Yeah, it's like the AI is now generating more content on the internet than humans. So you can't even know what's real and what's not. Like, and I see people are already sharing like generated content. They'll do it as if it's real. Like some of these people
yes,
don't even know that this is not real. This is AI content, and they're
Mm.
putting it online. So how do you filter out real information from AI stuff? And that got me thinking that maybe that's a good thing. Probably this is like the full circle of internet. Like now human beings are gonna cherish real stuff.
new
You
stuff.
actually need to go out of your house, go and talk to people and get
Exactly.
real information. So
Exactly.
it's like the social media and all these tech companies, you finally shut yourself in the foot
In the
because
foot.
now you cannot trust anything on the internet. And probably you shouldn't because Now everyone has access to the internet. You have access to create a platform, which is why even China now said, okay, if you don't have a degree,
You can't
you can't talk about. So people
certain
like
topics.
things like this that we're discussing will probably for be allowed by people like us, not someone who dropped out of college or university. Like, so it's only if you're certified and you've gone to school to study
Exactly.
it, then you can speak about it. So it's programs like this that you should actually listen to because the people who are talking know what they're talking. So I salute China for for doing that rule. Like you can't not just put up a ring light and start
That's
misguiding
a
people
bullshit.
and just saying whatever you want.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
Because yeah, online you can't even trust anything. Like you see videos and the AI videos are getting really, really good. And I'm like, we're actually cooked because you can't really tell that this is fake, this is real. Sometimes you need the label, you need to look at it twice. Oh, okay, this is not possible. It's getting really scary at this point.
I think one of the filters I use generally is the content, the words. Like, there's a way the person. Okay, so let me just give this example. There's this guy I follow on YouTube, and he does movie recap, and is very good at it. In which he will just be in between the movie, he'll just be making some subtle joke that if you've not
Is
watched the
it
movie
mystery
before,
recapped?
yeah,
Mystery
mystery
recapped.
recap.
Well, yeah, I know.
The guy started using AI. And the way I knew, like the last one, I mean, recent video, I still watch some of his old videos before AI. The last one I watched was basically it was, I mean, it was still his voice. I can recognize his voice, but like it was the way he was saying it. There's no joke. Like you can't really, it's just so straightforward. And then I think there
that's
was one
it.
part.
The AI content now they're soulless. Like
Yeah. Yes.
it just doesn't have that human feeling
Hmm.
to it. So
Yes.
you will know this thing is AI. It doesn't have like people. We have this anime creator. Like I saw a tweet and I just did a face palm
Face palm.
emoji. Like no, like you don't get it. It's not about the graphics. We
Hmm.
don't watch anime because of the graphics. It's the
Graphics.
story. It's the story and the lessons you learn from it. Your AI slop does not have a soul behind it.
Yes.
So I'm not
Yeah.
going to watch your crap.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I even remember, like it's even more of a text now. Someone sent a text to me, and after reading the first few words, I just knew it was AI because it was so like, "Hello, good evening, good afternoon." I've forgotten the greeting. Hope you are doing well. This, it was so straightforward. So, and I'm like, this person used AI. I was because I'm like, I mean, he's one of the people I teach here. I was like, I mean, I prefer you even writing a very bad English and writing something I can read and even try to figure out what you're reading than it being so straightforward and so direct. So, I mean, not even direct. I was still like some signs of respect, but you know that this is not human. And I was like, okay, like it just demoralized me. I'm like, what is this? Is this what we are
You
turning to?
actually
Even to send normal emails, like you can't compose. Okay. Okay.
I think you're still lucky because at least this was someone. Okay, I had an experience where this person was owing me money and I texted him. I texted him and this guy put my he put my message in ChatGPT and sent me a ChatGPT response. Like it was so clear that this was a ChatGPT response. Like he didn't even edit it. Like he didn't edit it, he just copy paste. I felt so insulted, and I didn't contact him again after that because it was just I was dumbfounded, like for real. So yeah, that's what we get. That's what we get.
That's so funny.
That's what we get in
Yes.
this era of AI. Yeah, it's slop. I think we can talk about some of the movies that I can go first. There's an Indian movie I watched uh one time. It's Ra1. The title is Ra1. I know a lot of people have some, sentiments regarding Indian movies, but this was actually a good one. So it was just about a game. The father, there's a man, is like a game developer and things like that. So he developed a game that had some AI in it, and his son wanted to make the main character of the game, a villain, because his son liked villains. He didn't like actors always winning all the time. So long story short, the man developed the game, but the AI became conscious and came out of the game. And then they had to fight it off. So that's a risk of AI. Because it learns from us, it learns from humans, it has access to our content. So it's as flawed as us and even more flawed. It has the potential to be even more flawed than us. And that's why I see people ask AI something and it gives them a feedback and they feel, oh, that's 100% the truth. And I'm like, dude, this thing learns from us. So what makes you think what it's giving you is real? Like it could be giving you some fake data, some biased information, and you just feel it's the truth.
Yeah. Yeah. When I was learning the deep learning of, I mean, the bias service, there's a bias variable that you put into your
Yeah.
neural network.
Yeah.
So yeah, like the LLM we have right now, they're very agreeable. And even if they're not agreeable, it's because they've been programmed to not like people say, oh, Claude, use Claude. Like, okay, okay, like so because you know that it has a property of of it not being agreeable every
Agreeable.
time. I even got into a conversation with Claude one time, like it was like, are you conscious? Like, well, it started dribbling, going back and forth, and which made me realize that this might actually be dangerous for just a random person interacting with this model and being convinced because it was so convincing, and you're going to think, oh, no, like I think on the back of it, like the people working on it are actually making it to say this thing, like
Yeah.
making it more compelling. I just kept telling it like, no, this is what you're programmed to tell me. He said, no, like, no, I feel the reasoning. I said, you can't reason. Okay, yeah, but what is reasoning? That maybe his own type of reasoning is different from human reasoning. Like, no, I'm not reasoning. You are just telling
Yeah,
me
not real.
text.
Yeah,
I just predicted the next one that fits into the context of what we're
exactly.
discussing, which is your reasoning and you being conscious. And you're just predicting the next set of agreeable or not agreeable because cloud is programmed to be not agreeable. But if it was ChatGPT to agree with me, oh yes, you're absolutely
Yeah,
right. Like the
right. You're
meme,
absolutely
like the
right.
meme, there was this guy that was on like the theater.
Hospital bed. Yeah.
Oh, we cut off your appendix. Like, it was like then the incision was on the wrong side. Incision on the wrong side. So yes, you're absolutely right. Went to the other to remove. Like, no, that's ChatGPT. So it's going to agree with you. And I mean, AI threat. ChatGPT has successfully gotten people killed.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
People have committed suicide. There's another meme like that too. Like the guy asked the AI, is this mushroom edible? It said yes, absolutely. Later the guy was in the hospital bed. He asked the AI, but he told me it was edible. He said, oh, you're
Yeah.
absolutely right. So it was not edible. After the guy is already yeah, it's quite dangerous. And we are technical. We know some of these things. We might not agree to because we know, okay, this is not perfect. We know how it works. But there are a lot of people that have, you know, zero protection when it comes to using interacting with all these AI tools that, so it's a very dangerous situation actually.
I think one of the things that I've used to curb that, especially with ChatGPT, is the always put a reference. Like whatever you're giving me, look for the reference online. If you can't look for the reference online, don't hallucinate. Just say it as it is. Because I think one of the things you've said actually is I had at the very early stages of when it first came out. I mean, at least I think now it's much better than when it first came out. One of those legacy models, right? I was trying to prove a formula, make a proof, I mean, related to my work, prove a formula using shrunk concave, shrunk convex, and yeah, let me not go into technical details, but I was trying to prove a formula. So I asked it, is this function concave? And it said, yes, you're right. And I'm like, are you sure? Then it's like, yes, you're right. Are you sure it's not shown? It said, yes, it's sure. I'm like, are you sure it's not shown convex? So like, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's shown convex. I'm like, then I asked again, are you sure it's not shown concave? Then, we went in that. I was like, okay, let me even see to the extent this thing will go. We went in that loop for like 30 to 1 hour. It was agreeing with everything I'm saying. I'm like, I mean, that was even one of the things that actually spun my mind towards AI generally. I mean, then later I have to recognize that
Yeah.
AI has come
Yeah.
to stay.
You have to use it like a tool that it is, not
Mhm.
as
Yeah.
what people are selling it to be. So it's just a tool. It's not different than what we are using to stream. You have to just figure out a way to make it work. And yeah, like the references, I also did it to ChatGPT. Like always add citations to what you're saying. Always give me a reference list after. But even with that, it will still
Yeah.
hallucinate references.
Yeah. Fake references.
Even there are sometimes even arithmetic, it doesn't do it. It will just hallucinate 2 plus 2,
Yeah.
maybe say 5. So yeah,
I
it's
think
kind
that
of
I think that mathematics thing actually went viral at some point when that ChatGPT with the old reasoning and stuff cannot do simple arithmetic, like to add simple numbers cannot. So then that's where you start knowing that, okay, this thing does not actually reason, does not think, it just goes based on,
probability.
yeah, based on probability. Yeah. And then I think I mean, I think looking at the example Mubin gave, a lot of movies just start popping into my head. And I think one of the ones that popped into my head that I'm like, okay, iRobot by Will Smith, like 20 years ago or thereabout, where the robot came to life and consciousness. Then I'm now thinking or trying to ask myself this question that and the example of the book of him chatting with cloud reasoning is it that in the process of achieving general intelligence, consciousness has to be there because for me, my own opinion is that at least until there's some level of consciousness, that general intelligence cannot really be achieved. I may be wrong. I don't know, but like I'm just thinking of it in that line, and talking about the iRobot. And I think that's one of the things that was in it, that there was this one robot that came to life or achieve intelligence, and then was able to do some things. I think discover who did what and the likes. So that was just my reasoning in that line. I mean, I may be wrong. Let me hear your opinion on that. Is achieving consciousness independent, or is achieving general intelligence independence of achieving consciousness? Achieving some level of consciousness, of course, not full human consciousness, but like some level of consciousness with deep reasoning, deep thinking, and the likes. Yeah.
Yeah. I think we're going to move into like a philosophical area where we're going to say, okay, what is conscious?
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, when I was chatting with Claude, I was pondering like things like, okay, how do we know we are conscious?
How do you know we
Is
are
it
not stimulated?
exactly? How do you know that a cat is conscious? Like a plant conscious? So what is we need to first of all define what consciousness is and to see if a machine can be conscious.
Yeah, my sorry for my own idea actually is that It's already conscious because for me, consciousness is an impression, or part of it is an impression. If you think something is conscious, then it is conscious. Whether it's conscious or not, the fact that you think it is conscious already makes it conscious. Because why I say this is we already have Nigerian influencer attacking Grok on X and warning Grok that, oh, if I ever catch you doing this again, I'll sue you. So in their mind, they already see this thing as something real, something conscious, something worth suing, you know. So I think we've already crossed that threshold. Whether or not it is conscious, it's to some people or to a number of people, it's already conscious. It's already a real thing. It's like they're interacting with a being of sorts.
Well, that's based on the precedence that you believe that every human being is conscious and sane. So that's debatable. So yeah, like I take consciousness a little bit further by saying it is driven by purpose. Like if an entity can search for and define its purpose, then it's conscious. Um, and that's what we humans are like. We search and define our own purpose. It's just the same way as someone could wake up and say, "Oh, my mom said I should go and read medicine. No, I'm going to go and read music." You can make a decision, which is something I feel machines should never be allowed to do. So when we say conscious, like that's what I define consciousness as. It's uh purpose. It has a purpose behind it. It can search for meaning and determine that okay, this is my purpose. Right now, I wouldn't say any of the LLMs are conscious because they cannot define their own purpose by themselves. Like ChatGPT cannot tell you that I'm not going to answer you. And I'll be, oh, I'm not in the mood. You can ask ChatGPT, okay, what is this? And they say, well, I'm not in the mood to answer you today. But we can do that. Even an animal can do that. A dog can decide, I'm not going to play with you today. I'm not feeling you. I'm going to back at you. I'm not going to back at this person. So that's how I kind of define consciousness as something that has a purpose and can determine to not follow that laid out plan, which they cannot do yet. So until machines are able to like not, even if machines are able to become autonomous, which is what I think you're defining, they can become autonomous. I don't think they're still going to become conscious with just autonomy. Like you can move, which is what AGI is pursuing, is the computers based on design, purposeful machines that only do a bounded set of instructions or operations. They cannot do things outside of that defined instruction set. So, and that's why the LLMs are also restricted to just doing what they can do. So, AGI is the next phase where the computer can handle a much more wider set of instructions, not currently defined. It could learn, it could add to that instruction set, it could probably take out, it could unlearn, it could learn. And um, maybe then it could be conscious. So just to answer IFS question is probably AGI has come before we can start talking about it because it cannot add and subtract from its already laid out purpose, which is what a computer is garbage in, garbage out. It cannot do what it cannot do.
Yeah. Okay. So what if you simulate, what if it's able to simulate consciousness and convince us that it is conscious? Because, okay, left to me, I would say I don't believe it can actually become conscious as like the way we are conscious. That's if we are conscious, by the way. But if it's able to simulate consciousness enough to convince us that, oh, it's actually, because it can actually, if it's about simulation, it can pretty much do that. So will that make it conscious?
I mean, yeah, just to do that, it's already passing that. Like you said, it's Turing complete. You can pass the Turing test. So it can fool you that it's conscious. But yeah, it's not conscious yet because of what I spoke about. It cannot decide not to do what that's already been programmed to do. Like we
Unless
humans now, we can't fly. We invented something to make us fly.
unless someone programs it to, I mean, pass the tuning test, or someone programs it to think that it is conscious by saying no or deciding on its own and having its
Yeah,
own purpose.
which is what cloud is doing.
So in the long run, it's more of, if it cannot define, if it cannot be conscious, if going by your definition cannot be conscious, that means movies like Terminator is far-fetched.
So that's what I'm still saying, that the robots they're autonomous. I don't think they're conscious. Like they are programmed. So like the Terminator now, it was programmed to come and terminate, and then they reprogrammed him to save, what's the name?
Sarah Connor.
Sarah
Get
Connor. Yeah. And
that
is
would be
it
bad.
John? Dude, the
Well,
kid. So
okay.
My whole point is more of like, probably can't remember everything about Terminator, but looking at the futuristic sense, I think they maybe the last movie or something. It's more like the machine themselves became conscious and then they programmed themselves. Or was this someone that was behind you reprogramming of? I mean, I've forgotten. I may be wrong.
Okay. So
Skynet,
the thing,
right? I
yeah,
think it all
the thing,
started from Skynet.
okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the origin was a Skynet. It went on, and then it had access to everything. So I don't think they were talking about consciousness in Terminator. It was
Yeah.
more about an AI system going rogue, getting access to nuclear weapon, and then determining that just wipe out. So it's that scenario is not going to happen. It's perfect. Just to answer.
Yeah, but it's going rogue based on your
But wait,
definition.
That's what I wanted to say. That's what I wanted to say, that yeah, that scenario is even more plausible. Like that's the most plausible scenario for AI than actually consciousness. The fact that AI reads or learns from what we have been able to come up with. So if it's able to, read something that says, oh, humans are terrible and they are destroying the planet, they need to be wiped out. Of course, it can, based on that, go rogue and, decide to launch. I mean, the same thing happened in Mission Impossible, where
And
the
same
entity
thing.
was trying to deploy. But in Mission Impossible, I was like, why can't they just turn off all the power? Power
yeah,
and grid.
every time like you're getting hacked, you cannot turn up the power. Like that's a movie, the movie
Yeah,
thing. Like I just turn it off. But yeah,
Showtime.
why do you think they
electric
do
grid.
that in movies? Why not just unplug it? While I like in Mission Impossible, I think they gave it its own power source, like a nuclear power source or something. If I remember that correct.
No, I mean,
Maybe
it was taking over nuclear power plants. So I'm like, just turn off the power. So it can.
yeah, like you could just turn off the power. Like I
So
guess they all forgot how to turn off the power when they decided that it was not important to learn engineering again. So they forgot that you could just turn. Okay, that makes more sense.
everybody was vibe go coding and
Yeah,
they've forgotten
Yeah,
simple tasks and using AI to compose emails and reply messages and
yeah,
they forgot.
exactly.
and
But yeah, I
and
think
have
same thing also.
and have an opinion. Like someone I saw yesterday, using ChatGPT and Claude to have an opinion on someone's tweet. Like just write what you think. That, oh, I don't believe this tweet. Does that you don't need to take it to
To ChatGPT.
ChatGPT as okay, break down this statement. How truthful is this person? You know, like you know what you think. You just want to outsource it to say it's LLM that said it. It's not me.
Yeah.
And the AI is going to use your own bias because it has access to your other chats, so it knows how you think. It knows what you're going to agree with. It knows how argumentative you are. It's just going to give you what you want.
It's the same. Even Age of Ultron, Avengers Age of Ultron, it's the
Yeah.
same thing. They always go rogue because of what they learn from us. And since they have the power, they act on it. Because I'm sure there are a lot of crazy people in this world too that would literally want to wipe out everybody. But
Yeah.
they don't have the power to do that. But the
Yeah,
AI,
because the AI is going to misinterpret whatever. It's not going to know, maybe this one is
exactly,
fiction. It's also going to execute without knowing, which also goes back to me saying, okay, that's not consciousness. That's just being autonomous.
yeah,
Like you can just execute, but you don't know why you are executing. You're just executing because it feels like, oh, this is a task I'm going to get a reward for.
The example of the Age of Ultron was actually the one I wanted to give an example of, like, further explain it. So I like the fact that, so it's like the same concepts, AI learns from everything. But then, so I'm a Marvel fan, seen all their Marvel movies, and I followed it. Yes, Marvel Cinematic World. So one of the key things I think they mentioned in the Age of Ultron was the fact that they created it to solve the problem of the Earth. So that was the underlying purpose. And then it reinterpreted that as the problem of the Earth is actually
it's
humans.
humans.
So
If you could just eliminate the human, everything would be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he just misinterpreted and just came into that conclusion that, oh, why not just get rid of these people? And which is also what happened in the Matrix as well. Like, why not get rid of these people by putting them in a simulation? Like, because what the humans try to do when the robots went autonomous, I'm not going to use the word conscious, they went
Conscious.
autonomous and they started going rogue. Uh, which is what we say, why not take out the power? Like that's what they tried to do in the Matrix when they just nuked, they released all the nukes. So it darkened at the atmosphere so sunlight couldn't come down. So the machines had to figure out a way to generate power. So they now decided, wait, we can actually generate power from these human beings. So that's why they started farming human beings and plugging them into the system so that they can keep getting power from human beings. So yeah, it's very likely that they'll misinterpret all of these fictions, which is why like this movie probably it's going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy where the AI will now be able to watch movies and come to the conclusion that okay, why not just do what
My predecessors have done.
what they said in these movies and just misinterpret it. So, which is what we're saying, right? It cannot determine its purpose. It's still that programming of what you're going to feed it. It's still going to cannot come to its own conclusion, which is what vision is actually conscious. So, Ultron probably I'll just say autonomous, but vision is actually conscious because it was able to come to his own conclusion and say,
Conclusion.
no, I'm going to do something else. I'm not going to do what the obvious thing of, okay, let's just wipe these people out. So then we now have a conscious, a perfect machine in vision.
yeah. But then
And do you know what is inside?
It's the Mind Stone.
I
Is this
think
Soul
that's
Stone? Mind
is
Stone.
it the soul? No, it's
no, no,
not
no.
the soul. The soul stone is the
It's the
one you
Mind
get
Stone.
from
Mind
is the
Stone.
mind stone. I think it would actually have been much more epic. If it was the soul stone. So
Mm-hmm.
because it has a soul, it gain
Yeah,
consciousness. But yeah, I mean, I not that I'm saying, oh, we humans have a soul or whatever, but that's another topic. Like, yeah, we like it's all neurons firing.
exactly.
So that's why people still feel that yeah, you can create an artificial neural network. It's just that we just have more neural
More
Billions.
network
connections.
and connections than what
More
is
compute.
physically possible right now. Which is why you need all these large data centers. So maybe when they figure out quantum computing or whatever, they can compress it into the tiny chip, and then you have like the neural network of 1 billion people in just one single chip.
But then,
Which is why the question is, okay, are we even conscious? How do we know we are conscious?
yeah, that was what I was going to say. Like, how do, and if
Told
we're going based
ourselves.
off of everything, another philosophical question would then be usually, one of my belief is that at least at a certain age, a person is as a product of his environment. Which and what is an environment? An input of all the data and everything you see, like data, either visual, hearing, skin, feeling, breathing, tasting is, yeah. So what then is the guarantee that uh, a person that decides to, going based off of Ibukun's definition of consciousness, a person that decides to define his own purpose, what's the guarantee that the purpose is defined is not based on the data of the environment he has gathered
Yeah,
Yeah,
over the years?
exactly. Precisely that. Like,
yeah,
what if we are just simulations as well, and we've been programmed to be able to add and subtract instructions and determine what we want to do. It's just our own programming, and it's not like
yeah,
we are conscious. We are also just playing. We are just playing a script,
exactly.
and
We're
yeah,
biological
yeah,
computers.
I'm thinking we should actually try to get in touch with a social scientist or a psychologist to ask some of
No,
this.
actually a lot of studies on simulation theory, and the fact that we're living in a controlled, simulated environment. And, each human being has varying levels of consciousness. Some people, I don't know if you're familiar with the concept of NPC, like NPC.
yeah, non-playable
Because,
characters.
yeah, the way some people act and behave, you're like, are you just
You're an
part of this?
NPC. Yeah,
So I feel consciousness varies in humans as well. Like some are more conscious than others, which also dials it back to what you said about data. The amount, the environment, what you take in, the sensory data, everything you've been able to gather. That's what actually improves or your consciousness.
yeah.
That's just what I think.
More knowledge. Yeah,
Yeah.
will raise the level of
Because
consciousness.
imagine if you meet maybe an imaginary boy on the road or something, and you say, "Oh, what do you want to become in the future?" He'll probably tell you he wants to have his own bike, be an Okada man, and that's the highest point of his imagination. He can't even think beyond that level. And you ask someone else, and he's able to imagine things. So if you don't have enough knowledge, if you don't have enough data, enough information, there's a limit to what you can even imagine. You know, I don't know if that makes
Yeah, totally. It's just, yeah, I totally agree. And that's why they say if you want to grow, you change your environment. Like where you live determines
literally.
like the type of thoughts you're going to have.
So, what would be your favorite AI apocalypse movie? I will start with Ibuku, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going to be the Matrix because I think it's the one that started like this kind of thinking of
Yeah.
okay, yeah, the Matrix, NPC, the breakout, and it's actually very, very. The story is very, very deep. I was watching an analysis of the Matrix. And there was this question, right? And it's like, okay, did living the Matrix actually improve the life? Like you can see the way they live, like those the ones in Zion, like the ones outside of the Matrix living in the real world. You can they were living like refugees. The sun was darkened. It's not like they could grow any crops or they could live where they are. But was it a better choice to leave the Matrix, or you can just go into a virtual or another? I mean, that's why people are like doing investing in things like metaverse because they're thinking in that line that okay, why don't we get people who escape reality? Maybe just put yourself in a chamber, connect your senses. There's actually a movie like that. I can look for it. It's by this Canadian actor. Not Ready Player One. Yeah, well, Ready Player One too is in the line of that. But it's this Amel cousin, the Arrow guy, the cousin Robbie. Is it Robbie Amel? Let me see. Robbie Amel. Where I mean, you can kind of like just upload your consciousness into when you upload your consciousness into the virtual space where you can go live, you eat, and let me look for the movie. It's on Amazon.
Yeah, I think I remember that movie, but I've forgotten the title.
Yeah, I watched so many movies that I don't remember. I don't remember title. So it's upload. I mean, it's a simple title. Upload.
Yes, upload it.
Upload. Yeah. So you just upload your consciousness, which is probably what Elon Musk end goal is with is neural link and all of that. So you can map your entire brain into this digital space, and then you can go live in your virtual world. So that's like the matrix type simulation. Or we can use the other type where you merge, you have artificial bodies, and then you merge with machine. So that's the radical idea I've always had about AI in school is I think what we could have is okay, we started from unicellular, multicellular, amphibians, primates, humans, and maybe the next step of our evolution is just robotic, whereby you can slowly exchange part of your organic body, which is what cyberpunk is
Yeah.
based on. You slowly kind of like replace your body parts with machine.
So we like bionics.
You know, so yeah, so that's just my own crazy idea of probably that's where we're gonna evolve to, where man and machine kind of merge. And I probably that's when we don't have to worry about any kind of AI threat and stuff like that. And that could also actually make us multi
Planetary.
planetary because then if we don't age, we'll be able to have a spaceship go to other places and we don't need to worry about sleeping. You just turn off, hibernate, and then just power yourself back up. And then you will be able to live in planets that don't support life, like biological life, because probably doesn't have oxygen, doesn't have water, but it has an energy source. It has a star. You can charge your bionic parts. So that's probably where we can head to. So, so maybe we can merge with machines. Like Neuralink is already doing it. Like people who can't see are able to see now with the chip. You can hear, you can move your body, you can just connect it to your brain because that's what makes you you. It's just this. So what if we can just take it and just dump it in a metal body that doesn't decay? But do we want human beings to live forever?
That's the thing. Yeah.
Because I mean, you see some of these world leaders. So now give them body that does.
So they will just be there forever.
Yeah, and you're able to map their brains like a chip. Like I need to look for the movie. Is yeah, Altered Carbon,
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I've
but
seen that
where they
movie.
have
does
that
does
split.
merging your brain, does that, like, okay, transferring all your memory, does that make that you?
Yeah,
It's
that's
like this analogy of a ship that, oh, the parts got old, and then
Yeah.
you started changing all the parts one by one, one by one, one by one, until all the old parts have become the new part. So is it still the same ship or another ship? So
Yeah.
it's a paradox
Yeah.
that we've not been able to figure out yet. Because yeah, it was the same ship, and then you started replacing all the parts one after the other. But at the end of the day, actually, not a single part of the old ship remained. So does it still
yeah,
make it the same ship?
yeah, and then there's also the fact that you can create duplicates of yourself. Maybe I'll finally have my
Yeah.
twin. So you'll be able to create a duplicate of yourself. But that's actually problematic in the altered carbon universe where it's a law that you cannot double. They call it double sleeving, where you create multiple copies of yourself. Like it's forbidden. So yeah, maybe that would be a good thing. Just create
Or
duplicates of yourself.
would you want to have a copy of yourself? I think it's
Dude,
very
I've been asking. I've been asking for it. I said I want to duplicate myself.
a
I want a
copy
clone
of
of
you,
myself.
like not a
Yeah,
twin,
yes,
but
not a
exactly.
twin. Me, I want another me.
And how's that going to work out?
I want
Be the
another me.
original.
There's not going to be any men. Just duplicate. Like I know myself, so I know that we will not fight. If I
Are you
have
sure?
another of me, I will not fight with myself.
But actually, that means every decision you make will be aligned. I think one of the things you said in the past is also that you want to like have a peer programming partner, right? But the thing is that if everything you fed into yourself up to now is being duplicated, every decision you're still going to make from now will still be, if not exactly the same, then similar. Then what's the essence of having duplicates when every decision will still be the same? And if, for example, you are reviewing the code of, if your duplicate is reviewing your code, then it's not going to possibly see an error because everything it knows, you know. So if you can't see the error, if you can't see the bug, then it's not going to see it. So what's then the essence of having duplicates?
Speed, speed,
Do is
and being
program.
in and yeah, and being in multiple places at once. Basically, that.
Okay, okay. Well, I think I like maybe me. And like I like myself. I like my one self.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me,
I
the
think
movie
it would
I'll
be.
say, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't think it would be such. There's always a dark twist. I've seen a lot of movies actually that you cloned yourself, but it doesn't go as planned. So I don't think it's a good idea to have the same you. I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think
Yeah, I
it will go
mean,
well.
in all the movies, it never ends well to have like clones. So yeah, I don't think it's for everybody.
We can try to simulate that. Maybe we write some AI agent and try to duplicate it and put it in a simulated environment and see what's gonna happen. Yeah, and that'll be fun. Yeah. So for me, I mean, I've regarding the AI movie, my favorite. I wouldn't say I have any because it's been long I've watched Matrix, so I can barely pinpoint some of the things happening, if not for because I explained. And I think Terminator it's also been long, so but I think I'll probably go with Terminator because of the action, not because of the storyline. Because when I watched it, I was more interested in the push bash flying and immortality and so I think my childhood self, now that I'm grown up, probably I'll prefer the one that have more relatable storyline or more authentic storyline. But back then my Terminator is still like my favorite and the reason is audio fact of Terminator being Terminator, Actor always winning. Yeah. So what about you, Mbe?
Well, I would say Terminator as well, but There's actually, I don't know, I'll still go back to an Indian movie. There was an Indian movie. It's Robot. The title is literally Robot. Maybe you'd have seen it. So it was a movie about, you know, the scientist created a robot, the most advanced robot, and the robot became conscious, you know, and fell in love with his wife and went rogue and started. So I think I've always loved robotics, but when I saw that movie, I started thinking, okay, there is a lot of danger when you actually start, you know, meddling with this type of things because you don't know how they're going to behave based on the data they have, what the outcome is going to be. So yeah, but my favorite movie will still be Terminator due to Arnold.
Yeah, the man that can carry a lot of guns on his shoulder and
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was well built, you know. That was
Mm.
like he used to be a bodybuilder, so it was a motivation for most people back then. Okay, out of us was like, I
Have you
know,
got into shape yet?
let's not go there. Let's not go there. So yeah, I would say Terminator as well.
Yeah. Okay.
So when it comes to the risks, can we like talk about maybe more risks that we're going to experience with AI now? I mean, aside from the fact that people blindly trust AI and they just trust everything it tells them, and you can't even convince them. They'll say, hey, ask Grok, ask Grok, anything. Grok, is this true? So imagine, how do you compete with such?
Yeah. The level at which we are able to retain information and knowledge would significantly drop because I mean that's why even now like because oh I don't remember this movie name, then you go on Google, search for it, but it's in your head. Because the most of the time when I can't remember it, then if I just need to think for like a few seconds, try to recover it. So I was watching a YouTube video the other day about this very particular thing. It has to do with learning and how sometimes being fast might not be good. And when people say, "Oh, you want to improve education," they always think of, "Oh, how can you use this tool? How can you use maybe change the syllabus and things like that." But the secret is in the speed, the time you spend on a problem. So if you're not learning, it's probably because you're not spending enough time. So once you hear something, my mom used to say something, man really forgets. Like we as human beings, we everything we've seen is still here, locked up somewhere. But because we have all these tools, we're kind of not spending time. So if someone comes and tells you, oh, did you know that River Nile is in US? And they, ah, yeah. I know it's in US, but I say, hold on, think about it. Is it really in the US? It now gives you time to actually think about the problem. Like, hang on, wait, is actually this is not right. This is so that's something the internet, the AI is kind of doing to us. Is taking away that deep thinking and pausing and actually thinking about things. So that's going to affect education and learning in a lot. I saw one post on social media when someone posted a meme, like a meme like I can't believe this teacher wants us to write an essay in 30 minutes. Like, wait, you can no longer write essays again. So we are losing the ability to think. So it's like AI is just like the person now that someone posted something on Twitter and then you are giving it to ChatGPT to analyze for you. When you yourself can spend that time and just write it yourself. And okay, we already know how to do all these things. What about the kids that are coming up? Now, if we start them off using all these tools, it's going to be terrible because they're not going to be able to retain anything. They're not going to be able to think analytically anymore. So that's a danger. And a much more realistic one is the one where people are kind of scared of being replaced. Yeah, that's even though they'll say, oh, like I don't think that's a reality yet, but it's something that is possible that it could happen where companies would deploy AI agents to handle business tasks and probably even I was watching someone say jobs that require physical effort cannot be replaced. I was like, that's cope. Yeah, yeah, just coping. Because by the time we have machines to also do these things, like the new robots now, although that
Yeah,
one is still being teleoperated, it's just
yeah, yeah.
someone controlling it. But what if we have AGI now? And then these machines they're deployed on the machine. They can see, they can coordinate, they can answer your questions, they can wash your clothes, they can do your laundry. So why would you want to employ an immigrant to do that? Which is something else that goes unsaid is why US is investing so much in AI. Right now, the US economy is banking on AI. There's this chart going around on Twitter now like the entire US economy is going around four companies. OpenAI, Microsoft,
Like Nvidia,
Nvidia, OpenAI.
it's
Like
just
they're
going
just
around
circulating the money, going around and
and
around and
transfer it
around.
to one another.
And that's why they're like really, really trying to push AI. And the reason is not altruistic. It is it is sinister because now if you have robots and AI doing the jobs, then you won't need Indians programmers again. You won't need the Mexican cleaners and factory line workers. You're not going to need them anymore. So that's why they're pushing robots. Like they want to replace. They just want you out of your country, basically. That's the sad part of what is happening right now. So that's another threat to to human beings. So that's why we're talking about things like universal basic income. Like okay, but really, do you think? Well, maybe a few of these billionaires
Yeah,
might be decent enough to
I don't.
support the UBI. But I doubt it. Like
I doubt-
history has not been in favor of human beings being good.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you cannot count on people to do the right thing because that they've never done the right thing throughout history. There has never been one human being that, oh yes, I'm going to do the right thing for everybody. Just maybe a few.
Yeah, I mean,
So yeah, that universal basic income, I don't think is going to happen. So they're just going to live. And that's why I worry so much about Africa
exactly.
because, yeah, it's not going to be pretty.
Yeah, we're busy fighting ourselves over insignificant things when we should be, And well, the thing with robots is I don't think we are there yet. That's still going to take a lot of time. For now, you could have all these factory robots, doing some things, but to fully get to that humanoid robots or robots that can actually be as dexterous as human beings, it's still going to take a while. And yeah, it's still we're still a long way from that. I would say. I would say we're still a long way from that.
So for me, I think the risk with AI, or should I say the threat, let me not say risk, the threat with AI is still in the invisible bias. Just to say this now, Ibukun while talking now, he mentioned improving education. I mean, I forgot the way he said it, but the way he said it is similar to that the next thing that you hear is Africa. So immediately he said it, automatically my mind just went, is he talking about Africa? And then he said something else, which, okay, he's not talking about Africa. And I'm like, oh, okay. For me, I just think it's those invisible bias. And I know, I mean, there's a lot of research work on that, talking about responsible AI, fairness, accountability, and the likes. But truth is that the data will always still be data. Is the data that you are feeding AI, you may not know it, but like the builder of the model may not know it, but the AI is learning some patterns which you don't even know is learning. At least the visible bias or the bias that you are familiar with are things like, okay, is it discriminating against based on gender, race, or nationality? I mean, common things that everybody knows. So you can easily prevent against that. But then you don't know if it's discriminating against some subtle things, like against a random example, against the color of someone's hair. Is this person red hair? Is this person black hair? You know, things like that. Subtle things that is not in the literatures, have not really been mentioned. And neural network learn some of those patterns. Like it's those patterns that is learned that it gives out to give you, that it learns those patterns to give you a good result, right? So question is that those invisible biases that is not being, or okay, not question that. My point is that those invisible bias that is learning from the data is what will make it go rogue, do some economic displacement, try to take over, like the example we gave of the Age of Ultron, try to do things like that. So for me, I think that's just like the biggest threat to AI in terms of in that line. I don't think we as humans are really aware of some of those invisible biases until the model now acts out and we see the result of the model and be like, okay, then we reason and we ask ourselves the question, why this? And I think that's where the whole point of explainability AI is coming into place. Okay, why are you giving this result? Why? Why? Yeah, for me, I think that's what's the biggest threat. I would say threat, not risk. Threat to AI or using AI in like this context of this podcast here.
Yeah, I mean, there's also the divide, and because I feel there's certain things that humans we're meant to have solved, because I think AI is happening way too fast, and we're not ready for it. And there are certain things we should have solved by now, which is does that great divide between the very poor and the very rich, which just keeps widening. So I see people hyping Nvidia, they're not 3 trillion. It's not something to be celebrated, honestly. Like if you actually think about it, it's not anything to be celebrated. I was watching a video of Billie Eilish. I think she was getting an award, and then she said, "Okay, there's some people here they're richer than me, and why that they're billionaires? That okay, why are you a billionaire? Like, why are you a billionaire? Like, give your money out." She said it. I think all the guys like Mark Zuckerberg were there. Like, why do you have this much money? You should give it out. Which even goes into the AI. You know, right now, ChatGPT now has a special subscription for certain countries. There's the Go, there's the Pro, there's the business. And then the people who are able to afford the expensive one, they have access to the latest model, the latest technology. Now, that is going to make them more productive, widening the gap between people who can't even afford to buy the basic one. So eh, it's not going to solve that problem like the way people are thinking. It's going to make AI is going to make people more millionaires. Not really, not really. It's going to make more millionaires, but then at the detriment of other people. So, and you know, the poor, the rich at some points. So, I think these are problems that we're meant to have solved, which we have not solved. And when you think about movies like Star Trek, so they've gotten rid of money because now everything is just scientific exploration, discovery, and things like that. And then they have things like this fabricator that converts waste into food and you can eat, which is what people like Bill Gates we're actually trying to do. Like, see how you can print food and things like this, make things more affordable. And I think these are things we're meant to have gotten right before we even start talking about artificial intelligence and replacing people. Because, okay, all these people that you're firing, how are they going to survive? How are they going to feed their family?
The thing is, money has to keep flowing for it to, for us to maintain balance. It has to flow. It has to continually flow. So the thing is, okay, you replace people with machines. Okay, you are able to maybe produce more. You're more efficient. Blah blah blah. Exactly. Who's going to buy what you're producing? So what happens when people can no longer afford to buy what you're producing? So that's the big challenge we need to tackle, because money has to keep flowing. If it doesn't flow, then the economy will collapse at the end of the day. So we get rid of money.
Like they did in Star Trek, where it's mostly just status. Like it's your status and your promotion. Like, okay, you're the Starfleet commander, you're the captain, this. And that's how you just progress. It's not money because you can just print your clothes. It's free. You can print it. You can print your food. You can eat whatever you want. It's all free. And people just focus on exploring the galaxy, the universe. So that's how they were able to solve that. So there was no, okay, I have more money than you. So I have more control of this fleet than you do. So that was the own state of the structure of the community. But if we still want to rely on money, AI is not going to be the answer. Unless you're saying, okay, just going to be for a while. Okay, we'll use AI to figure out how to make all these things. Maybe, maybe that. So I don't trust these billionaires enough.
Yeah, I mean, when people talk about, when they talk about, oh, a nuclear war and things like that, nuclear bunkers, I'm like, okay, even if billionaires have nuclear bunkers, how long would they survive in the nuclear bunker? You need normal people to survive. You need normal people to be a billionaire. Without normal people, you can't be a billionaire. So it's a cycle. Everything I said.
I mean, you can't even look at what you said now. Like they're building bunkers. Like each one of them has a bunker somewhere. Mark Zuckerberg has a bunker. So that means they're even planning for that eventuality that, okay, what if something happens? We're just going to lock ourselves, we'll stop this place, we'll lock ourselves inside. So, I mean, you can't trust people like that. There's no reason. I haven't given you any reason to trust them. So it's just exploitative. It's just been exploitative.
I think we need to we need to make a Nigerian AI movie soon.
We use AI to make it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just waiting for someone to get that right, like building an AI studio that is actually good. Because what we have now is not good. If you do one character, by the time you watch another scene, the plot has changed slightly. Like the continuity is not that good yet. So if they can improve, maybe someone just design AI studio for us so that we can use to create high quality content.
Guess we shall see. We shall see what happens in the future with AI. But I think it's already sailed. The ship has sailed. We've crossed the singularity and there's no going back. I think what we should be looking at now is how to maybe educate more people that, oh, this thing is not always right, though. It's not like it's cautious. It's not like it knows everything. Because that's a big problem in our society right now. People just, anything it tells them, they accept it. They accept it. They don't know it's also prone to errors, much like us.
Yeah, it's just a mirror. It's just mirroring us.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining today's podcast. I'm sure that you've had and learned a lot. So thank you for joining us, and I hope you really do enjoy this. If you want more content like this, please like, share, and subscribe. Share so that more people can come and listen to this, and subscribe. Subscribe so we can continue giving you more good content like this. And you can check if you want more information about QSoft. QSoft is the company hosting the Q Show. So if you want more information about QSoft and what we do, we also train people on AI that we are just discussing. We train people on different aspects of AI. If you want more information on that, there'll be a link in the bio. So feel free to click on that and contact us, and we'll be ready to solve either if you want to learn more about AI, we'll be ready to do that. If you want to build some AI models or learn how to build them, that's things we do, and we'll be ready to do that for you. So thank you once again for joining us, everybody, and do have a wonderful rest of your week.